What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on first take, thinking about talking about, is it about time for more people to give Jimmy Garoppolo more credit, especially after he just beat the New Orleans Saints? So let's see what they have to say about that.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Jimmy G had a very nice afternoon. 349 yards passing. It was very, very impressive.
4 TDs.
4 TDs, no doubt about it. He had an exceptional afternoon. Does that mean I'm supposed to stop here, stop the presses, and act like he's the second coming to Joe Montana or Steve Young? Could you do it come postseason time? We'll see. All of this stuff, all of this anointing of Jimmy G, I'm going to hold off on that.
Yeah, but you still have to give credit where credit's due, and Jimmy Garoppolo has been balling. Like I said, early in the year, I had doubts about him, but he's slowly proven himself that he's definitely a quarterback that can lead his team to the Super Bowl. So you got to give credit where credit's due. So let's continue.
Had a damn good afternoon. Oh, by the way, he's had a damn good season. I mean, completing nearly 70% of his passes, 25 touchdowns, the 11 interceptions. Everybody want to ignore that, but that's fine. That's fine. QBR's been very, what is it, quarterback rate of 110 or better over the last 7 to 8 weeks. I get all that. But again, you showed up last night, or yesterday afternoon rather, and showed out. I got issues with that New Orleans Saints defense, which we'll get into a little bit later on in the show. I'm going to give Jimmy G his props, but if anybody thinks for 1 second that means, yo, Stephen A., it's time to ordain Jimmy G, hell no.
So again, you definitely got to give credit where credit's due because Jimmy Garoppolo is balling right now. He doesn't have to be ordained or anything like that, but he's definitely held his own. Now, on the flip side, I kind of see what Stephen A. Smith is talking about. So if you want to, you can call Jimmy Garoppolo the weakest link on his team, but the 49ers are such a strong team, that doesn't really mean much. It doesn't mean much at all. There's some ballers. He has ballers all around him. So like I said, you want to call him the weakest link, that's fine, but they're still a great, strong team. And again, you got to give Jimmy Garoppolo credit where credit is due because he just beat a couple of the MVP hopefuls from throughout the season. He just beat the New Orleans Saints with Drew Brees. He beat Green Bay Packers a couple weeks ago with Aaron Rodgers. And early in the year, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. I can't remember if Patrick Mahomes was hurt or not at that point in time. But still, those are major wins. And I was waiting to get past the midpoint of the season when the schedule got really tough. And he's proven himself. So you got to give credit where credit's due. So let's continue.
I am not doing it. Yeah, excuse me. Listen, your defense is elite, even though it wasn't yesterday. Your running game is elite. The play calling of Kyle Shanahan is special. Kittle is a baller. Him or Travis Kelce. I'm just trying to say. Yeah. All right. Listen, Debo Samuel. I really like this. This brother can play. You got some players around you. Jimmy G ain't losing games. He was exceptional and really, really showed out yesterday. He really did.
Yeah, he did a very good job. That's what I'm saying. You got to give him some type of credit. Again, I know where he's coming from because if you want to, technically you could say that Jimmy Garoppolo is the weakest link on the 49ers, but the 49ers are so strong, they're such a strong team that doesn't really mean much saying that he's the weakest link. That just shows how good everybody else is that he could be the weakest link and they're still putting in work. But like I said, I give Jimmy Garoppolo props because he's doing a great job. I've been waiting to see what he's going to do against some of the top teams in the NFC, and he's proven himself. You know, beat Drew Brees, beat Aaron Rodgers, beat Patrick Mahomes, even though he's in the AFC, but he's steady putting in work. I think, but they lost to Baltimore, but Baltimore's on a different level at this point, and they might meet up at the Super Bowl. But that's for another video. So let's continue.
I'm not giving it.
No.
Yesterday was nice.
No, it's not just he's not losing games.
But yesterday wasn't the whole season.
You can't just say he's not losing games when he goes on the road and beats Drew Brees. Outduels him.
I'm saying yesterday.
At Drew Brees' house.
We're not talking about the season.
Let me just.
Yesterday he was great.
Let's just go over this again. He's 2-0 for the Patriots. Belichick's trying to send Tom Brady out of town. Brady has to go to the owner to do an end around Belichick to get to stay. They ship Garoppolo out. The Niners are 5-0. Garoppolo gets hurt. They can't buy a win. Garoppolo comes back. It looks like they might be the best team in football. That's not coincidence. And
wait a minute. Now, you got to be kidding me, Max. I mean, you got to be kidding me. So you're saying that Bill Belichick would have been better off keeping Jimmy Garoppolo because Jimmy Garoppolo was doing good right now? Well, let's talk about what the other half of that argument would be of him keeping Tom Brady. I do believe they've been to, 3 Super Bowls and won 2 out of those 3 since Jimmy Garoppolo was gone. So Bill Belichick couldn't have done any more better. He couldn't have done any more better. And I seriously doubt Jimmy Garoppolo would have won or gone to 3 Super Bowls in a row and won 2 of them like what Tom Brady's been doing or just did. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
like Brady in the beginning of his career, he's going from game manager, just, let the defense do its job, don't lose the game, to a guy who can win it with the game on the line, about 50 yards to go to kick a field goal, about 50 seconds to do it. He needs to pick up a yard a second and does it while throwing a billion touchdowns. Garoppolo.
A billion? Is that what
by the way, Garoppolo, you realize if they lose this game, they're facing the road in the play. They're going to have to play an extra game in the playoffs. It's not a playoff game, but it's kind of like a playoff game. This dude is showing you why Belichick wanted him instead of Brady, why Shanahan said, give that guy $130 million or whatever it was.
Max, stop
He's
saying that.
showing you all those things. And by the way, I got to say before I pass the mic, Kittle, listen, there's some plays you'll always remember. Beastquake. I'll always remember Beastquake. I love Marshawn Lynch in a way that I feel about few athletes for a lot of reasons, but that play symbolized it. Mark Bavaro, when I was a kid, 86 against the Niners. That Kittle play, to me, I'm going to remember it like those plays. Oh, my God. I think on that play, I hate to say it because it is neck and neck with Kelsey, he took the crown. He's the guy I want right now. What a play with the game on the line.
Go ahead.
Okay, so again, it was great plays and all that, but let's not go too far with Jimmy Garoppolo talking like Bill Belichick would have been better off with Jimmy versus Tom Brady. Like I said, he couldn't have done any more better with Tom Brady. You couldn't have done any more better. 3 Super Bowls, won 2 out of them. Sure, you want to win the third one, but still, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's at that point yet. As a matter of fact, he hasn't even played a whole season. If he finishes out this whole season, this will be his first season that he played all the way through since he's been in the NFL. Granted, he's doing good, he's doing great, but let's not say that somebody would have been better off with Jimmy versus Tom Brady at this point. So let's continue.
Yo, go ahead.
Coach, go. I'm
going to say this about, first off, Kittle's, I'll take him over Kelsey all day because he's a hell of a lot better blocker. But when I watch this game, that 4th and 1, I'm like, just run it. Hell, and stop you all day running the football. What did Shanahan do? He just said, no, I trust my guy back here, Stephen A. And, I'm with you because I had questions about, is this guy really the guy? Well, Shanahan certainly doesn't have those questions. He put it in his hands. Yeah, did he throw it to Kittles? Yeah, smart move, by the way. But, I mean, that thing speaks volumes. Shanahan speaks volumes with his play decision. And, to me, the other thing you got to look at, when you look at that press conference, this is an ugly dude. So why do we hate him? Because of that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
In our day,
I hope
the best quarterback in the world or the star quarterback for the Niners had the decency to look like a regular guy. Joe Montana looked like you get a beer with him, right? Who the hell is this guy showing
ridiculous.
like this?
That's why he's porn-star Jimmy.
Yeah, so let's keep Jimmy Garoppolo's name out of the same sentence with Joe Montana, okay? Because Joe Montana went 4 times and won 4 times. He never lost, okay? So and some people might consider Joe Montana the GOAT, which I'm struggle with myself internally of calling Joe Montana the GOAT, or is it Tom Brady? Because Joe Montana went to 4 and won 4, never lost. Tom Brady went to 9 and won 6 and lost 2 to the same guy. So I struggle with to see who's the greatest. Now, I know Terry Bradshaw won 4, but still, I struggle between Joe Montana and Tom Brady. But that's for a different video. So let's continue.
It's porn-star Jimmy.
There you go.
Certainly didn't need to go there.
Stephen A., I lean away from you.
It's too early.
I lean away from you. I've been saying this all season long. If something is going to cause the 49ers, it was going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. And yesterday, the outduel Drew, that's to me, that's the point. The point is the Saints put up 46 points, and he put up 48. Like, we can talk about, and he's distributing the ball. The Emmanuel Sanders trade might be one of the best of the year.
Yes, I do.
When you think about what he's been able to do.
I agree with that.
Deebo Samuel getting involved after getting healthy as well. And then Kittle, you all have explained that. But my thing for Jimmy Garoppolo was this. The transition from when they played Seattle, and he had to make a game-winning drive, and how terrible he looked. He threw 2 picks that Seattle dropped. We all can agree with that. And then in this particular situation, now I don't know what the hell the Saints was doing, covering Kittle man-to-man with a guy that's 17 layers smaller than him.
That's right.
Anyway, that's beside the point. You got to find the right one. But I harken back to before that, when he scrambled and picked up the first down. Understood game situation. And look, by no means am I saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is the second coming to anything. But what I needed Jimmy Garoppolo to prove this season to tell me that the San Francisco, because everything around him, I think we agree, is good enough to win a Super Bowl or at least be a part of it.
That's right.
I needed to see this particular game in these moments, outdueling a Hall of Famer, a guy that we're going to talk about being one of the top 10 quarterbacks to ever play the game. He did that on the road. I cannot not.
I'm sorry, before the video starts, but I do agree. I definitely give Jimmy Garoppolo props because he's proved to me that he can lead his team to the Super Bowl. Like I said, he beat Drew Brees a couple weeks ago. He beat Aaron Rodgers, beat the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. I'm not sure if he was there, but I don't really want to say that he's the second coming of anybody because, like I said, Joe Montana went 4 times, was undefeated. Tom Brady has been 9 times, but he lost 3 times, 2 times to one player. So I don't know who I'm going to call the GOAT there, but we definitely, I probably want to be undefeated versus go 9 times and win 6. But you guys know what I'm talking about. But I don't want to call Jimmy Garoppolo the next coming of anybody, but at this point, I definitely have to say that he's balling out of control. I got to give him more credit than I was early in the season because he's proved himself. So anything less than that, and you got to go with Garoppolo. You got to go with Garoppolo. So let's continue.
Him for that. That was enough for me.
Once you add that stuff, Stephen A., he's nipping at the top 10 QBR. Those are the numbers.
Well,
when you add that element,
I'm so touched.
What more do you want? If he's winning with the game on the line.
We heard you.
Yeah, again, what more do you want him to do, Stephen A. Smith? What more do you want him to do? So what they lost to the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson is going out of control right now. And it's time to give Jimmy Garoppolo his props. So the last game, what was that, in 2 or 3 weeks, they played the Seattle Seahawks. So maybe they can redeem themselves. So yeah, I mean, I got to give props to Jimmy Garoppolo. He's definitely changed my mind. I think he's definitely a baller. I think he can definitely lead his team to Super Bowl if need be. Granted, on the other hand, with what Stephen A. Smith's saying, if you want to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is the weakest link on his team, I can agree to that, but that's not saying much because the 49ers are a strong team. They're a very strong team. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
Touch that he's nipping at the top 10. I mean, stop the presses, Mac. Stop the damn
He's in his first full season as a starter.
10. I'm just saying, within the game of football, I'm looking at the pieces around you. I'm looking at what you can do. It's one thing when you can do stuff that you do it on your own. It's another thing entirely when everything around you appears to be ideal. Damn, I got a rough rider defense, having a rough afternoon.
Yesterday.
I understand that, having a rough afternoon, but on most afternoons, the